Welcome back. It's a Fulbright Friday here with LP and LT. So how was your weekend? It was Memorial Day.
I know. It was really good.
Yeah.
We actually get to that point where it gets really hot.
Hot.
So hot and humid. It's getting hot in
Just
here.
thinking about hot makes me...
I know, right? So one of the things that I know most of you don't really live in Washington, but if you do, or actually while you're here on campus, right?
Maybe familiar with
You
this.
have family come in town or friends, and then they always want to do the tours. And so, yes, like, what is the one thing when family comes in that they want to do in DC, and you're like, oh, okay.
Go to the National Mall.
Yeah, the mall. Like, you can only walk that so much, and it's so hot, and it,
And that's
never
when
changes.
you time it so when the sprinklers are going, you're walking underneath the sprinklers.
Okay, or to subject your guests to make them want to leave, or to
No,
cool
I've done that
yourself
before.
down?
Would cool myself down.
Okay, that's very strategic, like, tour planning.
Oh yeah.
Your family must love
I mean,
you.
you have to get like a
No, you
ice
don't.
lemonade or something.
You can just walk up and be like, here's the monuments, let's go.
Or drop them off in like the Natural History Museum with air conditioning.
You gotta drop off and go.
Drop
Those parents off and go.
Okay.
Okay, so we are gonna talk about
It's
the
research grant time.
research grants. So we've done our study in ETA. Now it's a dedication to the research grants. We're gonna give you sort of the lowdown on the 3 things that we think you need to go. To go. Okay,
Yeah,
LP,
Brian.
take it away. I'm gonna just stop.
So there are 3 things that we want to discuss with the research grants. The first one is
Uno.
that... Oh wait, we're not talking about that? What are we talking about?
No, that was one. I said Uno.
Oh, Uno. Okay, thank you.
What do you think is that Uno?
I don't know. Yeah, I thought you said, oh no.
Oh,
and I thought,
no.
oh no, what have I done?
Uno.
Okay, the first one is that there is a range of what the independent research can actually entail. So in some cases, you might be completely on your own, doing your research, working in local communities, doing that. In other cases, though, as an independent researcher, you could be affiliated with a research institute and doing research in support of that lab or in support of like the larger...
You just keep going. I'm gonna just look at this phone call.
Okay.
Keep going.
We're taking calls here. I mean, if you're a fan club, you can call it. Okay. So also you could be affiliated with an institute or perhaps in some cases affiliated with an NGO and doing like monitoring and evaluation of certain programs. So have a little bit more structure in your research grant than what the independent research label would entail.
So lots of ways to think about a research project, lots of definitions of what that could mean. But number 2, one of the very important things when you're designing your
Extra emphasis.
Very important things when you're designing your research project is to think about the feasibility, right? So this is not a proposal that's just like, here's an idea, it's really well thought through, here's a literature review on it. Really, Fulbright proposals are all about action on the ground. What are you going to do?
I like that, action on the ground.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Hashtag action on the ground. Okay, so what are you going to do when you're there in country? How are you going to spend those 9 months? Where are you going to be? How are you going to find the individuals or the sources or the data points or any of those research materials that you need in order to address the research questions that you have that have informed your project? So this is not just kind of a proposal. You're really sketching out a preliminary plan, right?
Detailed blueprint.
Exactly. And so sometimes you're going to have to really think through that implementation of the proposal. That's what's going to go into the proposal itself because, and we'll tell you why, how you're evaluated when it comes to the research proposals is primarily first and foremost on feasibility of project. And if you design something that you don't have the technical skills, the language that you need, or any other form of skill sets that will prohibit you from doing the design of your project, you won't be moved forward.
And that leads in nicely into our third final point, which is Tres. We're still on our Spanish.
I don't know, I'm just loving it.
Which is the making sure that you have the prerequisite experiences and training skills to undertake the research project that you want to do. So as Lauren mentioned, or LT mentioned, it's important to think, like, do you have the language skills to actually do the project you want to do? Have you previously employed the methodology, quantitative or qualitative methodologies that you plan to implement on your research project? Have you done interviews before if you're proposing to do interviews? Because if you haven't done interviews before, that may be a kind of a red flag. Because Fulbright wants to make sure that you're prepared on day 1 to undertake the research project that you want to do. That includes IRB approval. So anyone who's doing research involving human subjects is going to need to go through the IRB Institutional Review Board process at Georgetown. They have trainings for you. It's not like you have to have received IRB approval by the time that you've applied for the grant, but you definitely want to be going through the process to be able to say that in your research proposal, that you're thinking of all the necessary things to undertake that project.
If you find the words methodologies, qualitative, quantitative, IRB confusing, that's probably an indication that it's not time yet to propose a full independent research project. If you have some familiarity and some practice and you're building those credentials, then it's time to have a discussion. Maybe the research project is the right opportunity for you.
We can always find a grant that's going to be a good fit for you.
So don't feel like, oh man, the research thing, we'll find something for you. Come talk to us.
Don't be a stranger.
Don't be a stranger. Oh, good.
It is a Fulbright Friday. Well, it is a Fulbright Friday here. It's time for the Fulbright Fan Club.
Thank you for sending in your questions as always.
Am I reading it this time?
You're reading it this time, but I get to pick, please.
Wait, I thought I get to pick and read.
Okay.
Well, then you hold it.
Okay. Yeah.
The question du jour. How different was your life 1 year ago? 1 year ago, we were probably sitting in these chairs doing this exact.
Oh my god, my life was not next. My life was not different a year ago. I don't like that question.
I like the question.
I'm sorry.
Thank you
Whoever wrote that in.
Whoever sent that in,
We're
thank you for your question.
Thank you for trying, but this never changes.
Our life is just repetitive on cycles. That's what you discover when you get older. Like, life just passes
the
really
same
quickly.
thing, and you don't do anything new
You
or
just
different.
sound haggard and
Tired.
Tired. This is also a silly question. How often do you play sports?
Well, the last time I played sports was the last Fulbright Friday World Cup edition.
That's true. If you want to go back and watch season 1, episode whatever it is,
you can check out our mad soccer
We took
skills.
it to the streets, and actually I'm terrible at soccer or football.
You did good, kind of.
You did
that
good. You
day.
did good.
Well, I want to like overinflate your ego.
Yeah, because you were so good. So like basically you want to tell people to go watch it so they know how much better you are.
Please.
Anyway, yeah, that's probably the last time that we played
I don't
sports.
like that one either, but that's
I
okay.
meant
Keep on
lawn
coming
sports.
in.
Do lawn sports
I knew
count?
that was coming up.
Because bocce
So,
ball, I am
Laura
darn good
thinks
at
that
bocce
she's
ball.
the best at every single lawn sport.
Pretty much am.
What about
The ladder golf?
what's the one where there's
Cricket?
a whole not
I
shuffleboard.
feel like we're playing like
No, this is
gestures.
yeah. This is the one that's like cornhole.
Oh, I'm really good at cornhole.
Oh,
I just
man.
actually no, I did play cornhole like 2 weekends ago.
Okay, so maybe we should have a cornhole tournament or something. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I
if
should
you
always,
want to
like-
play cornhole with us, write in.
We should get a Fulbright cornhole.
We should get a Fulbright cornhole.
Does someone make us a cornhole?
Or send money for the cornhole endowment.
We shouldn't ask students to send us money.
Don't send us money.
Don't
have
send
your
us
parents
money.
send us.
But if you want to volunteer your artistic services to make the Fulbright logo on
Yeah.
a cornhole board thing, that would be great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's a new logo, by the way.
Bye. Oh, I thought you were just using it as like a fake prop.
No,
I didn't realize you
have
actually had coffee
in
in there.
It's
Are
actually.
you washing it?
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Because how
Well.
can you wash it when there are the big
I didn't really
emojis
think
on it?
about that, and
Okay, anyway, you do you.
well now I feel really self-conscious about drinking out of
No,
this
it's fine.
dirty cup.
It's fine.